Well, guys, this is this is just so beautiful. I am one of those people that my birthday's in December. It's not ideal for my husband. And every year he's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, just let's go do a little family trip or something, or like go on a little city exploration right around Christmas, you know. But this year I said to Josh, can I have just some peace and quiet and alone time? And he looked at me weird. He's like, you, Megan, alone? I'm very much an extrovert. I don't like silence or being by myself too much. In moderation. I need a little bit of that sprinkled throughout my week. But yeah, I decided to try it out and see what I think. A little solocation. My husband's actually coming up later to our boathouse is what I can't wait to show this to you. We arranged for babysitting, and so he's just gonna come up later, bring me supper, and I get to be basically by myself for 20 hours. So we'll see how this goes. I have some goals and to-dos for myself for this 20-hour little getaway. Let me show you the place first though. It is just immaculate. This is one of the properties that Barb and her husband Dave own. They're friends, acquaintances of mine from Instagram, and their properties are just impeccable. They leave no stone unturned. You know how when you can just skip the extra touches and nobody's really gonna notice? They don't do that. They put the extra touches in, and it's things that you didn't necessarily think you needed, but once they're there, they just feel like so inviting and so welcoming. So let me show you around. I like to get ideas for my home from destinations that I've stayed at, and just that peaceful, calming feeling. Like it feels like they were expecting me. They were waiting for me. It smells so good. The fireplace on the TV's crackling. There's music playing. It's just so restful. Anyway, so I want that feeling in my home a little bit more. Why don't I show you around here quickly? And if you want to stay in one of their properties, I will include a link down below. You can actually save by directly booking through that link. So I would recommend for sure. You know, there's people that have everything. A little getaway would be perfect. In fact, I'm already thinking my mom and dad need to experience this boathouse in Wrightsville, PA. It's along the water. The drive here was immaculate. I told Josh he's got to make sure he leaves tomorrow while it's light out so he can see what we're up against, like the view out the window. This is the first bedroom. It has its own little bathroom. The view is just very Martha Stewart, I would say. 1990s with the blue and white. They even have a little Christmas tree up for Christmas time. And I will include some clips that I take tomorrow morning so you can see it in kind of a different light. I've stayed at one of their properties before, and they both have had the Brevels with all the syrups, and there was even instructions on how to use it. I don't know. I might wait till Josh gets here so he can spot me on it, make sure I'm not going to break it or anything. I had to switch to my phone for a second because my battery died, and Josh is bringing up my extra batteries because somehow they fell out of my coat pocket. And then we come down the steps here, and you have the primary suite. I mean, I'm guessing that's what this is. Hello, there I am. Because in here, we have the beautiful soaking tub with, again, this view. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll stop saying it. You guys can see. It's like golden hour right now, so I wanted to show you quick before it got dark. But I'll add some clips in from tomorrow as well so you can see it. Transparency, there's all my stuff on the floor. I was throwing things around trying to find my batteries and realized they fell out of my coat pocket. Josh found them on my office floor, so strike one for Megan. And this place is very, like, you could definitely have kids here. I don't know about my kids. I feel like this place is too pretty. My kids might wreck the place. I don't know. I have pretty good kids, but I think this would be a great getaway, or two couples could get away and then do something during the day. Look at that. Wow. That's the second balcony. So there's two of them. Each bedroom gets its own balcony. And then I have to show you this really quickly. This is fun. Out here in this little garage area, look what we got. E-bikes, and they're so cute. So you could totally explore if it wasn't wintertime. I mean, even now you could, but wow, look at the view across there. I knew I had to share this with you guys. So I have about 2 hours till Josh gets here, but I have so much to do. It's supposed to be relaxing, right? But I have come to do some YouTube brainstorming. I love to do like a reflection at the end of the year. My life is so like full throttle and busy that I feel like reflection time is good for me. I know a lot of people don't need that, but I feel like, yeah, my life is very full, very busy, hands-on with 4 kids. And I just like to wrap up the year. It's a great time because it's my birthday. Like, this is my little birthday gift to myself. I've never done a little solocation for my birthday before, but I do always like to wrap up the year in my head, pick a new word for the year. I often will make a mood board for the year. Ask me about that tomorrow. I'll let you guys in on a little bit of how that all went down this past year. It was a little bit of a fail, but that's okay. I just keep coming outside even though it's like 30 degrees. Oh my goodness. Whether I succeed or fail as a mother, as a homemaker, as a wife, I want to at least know I tried. So that's me trying. So I'm going to sit down, do some brainstorming, maybe take a soak in the tub till Josh gets here, and just enjoy some peace and quiet. I don't think I'll listen to a podcast. I was listening to a podcast on the drive up here. I also got to do some antiquing in Columbia on the way up here at the Burning Bridge Antique Mall. I didn't find much. I did find one floral piece that I thought was really... Josh said he wants more scripture or like Bible in our home on the walls and stuff. And I'm like, Josh, this is just not the era. Like 2005, 2010, sure. People don't do that as much now. But I thought this was a good way to do it. And you know what? If it's meaningful, it doesn't necessarily need to be in style. That's what makes homes have character, when you put things in it that means something to you. So I thought this piece was sweet. And I love the florals without them being like those gaudy colors that you sometimes see. So I decided to take it home with me for $6. I thought, why not? A lot of the pieces there were very expensive, but they were still fun to look at. I still thoroughly enjoyed myself. But yeah, just a coffee in hand, Christmas music playing. It was just so fun. Perfect way to spend my birthday. You didn't waste any time sitting down to eat?
Yeah, we got our food. Let's eat.
Yeah, I had a good evening planning and stuff. I feel like I'm partially done. I was Snapchatting Jane and Eric. Do you see they're at the airport?
No, I didn't see any Snapchat.
Where are they headed to?
No clue. Yeah, I don't know.
Puerto Rico, maybe? I don't remember. Yeah, it was so funny. I noticed I started talking to myself because it was quiet. I am not used to being by myself, and I always make fun of Josh for talking to himself. Like, he always thinks out loud when he's like doing a home project or like measuring stuff up or whatever. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And here I was just like, okay, I need to go down and get this. I was just like narrating my life to myself.
Out loud.
I would just catch myself doing it.
Fun.
Oh man, well now I have somebody to talk to. Let's enjoy our subs. Yeah?
Well, shouldn't. Yeah.
Why are you smiling and I'm frowning?
Here we go. Dragon to the top. That's me.
So it's just a maze every time. Oh, you got three strikes, you're out. I am cozied up on the couch here, enjoying the last hour or two at this boathouse. The sun is coming out, so it's starting to be very colorful out there. And I just thought we could sit and chat at the end of a year, at the beginning of a new one. I like to reflect a little. Like I was saying, my life is very full and busy, and so I think times like this are important for me because I don't naturally do this throughout my days and weeks if I don't intentionally put it in my calendar or on my to-do list. By the way, I'm wearing my brightest, colorfulest sweaters this weekend in celebration of my birthday because birthdays are not my favorite thing. I feel like after I turned 19, every birthday was a little bit sad because I didn't want to get a year older. So I know that doesn't make sense. Of course you want to get a year older. It's such a privilege, but you know what I mean. So colorful it is. But Josh left again and it's just me here alone in the silence. And I've learned that, wow, it is very nice. I actually enjoy silence in moderation, especially in places where my kids don't belong. If everything's silent at home, it can sometimes feel like who's getting in trouble or what's going on. But here it's a very settled feeling and not unsettling at all. So anyway, I was able to do a bunch of journaling and reflecting yesterday. Not only for my YouTube and stuff, which I have a new vision for that, so come back for my video next week where I start a new series. It's gonna be an 8-week series with homemaking from a completely different mindset. So question, when you get up in the morning, are you like, okay, my task for the day, that's what I have to do, boom, boom, boom. Catch up on laundry, organize this cabinet, and grill chicken for supper. Like, is that your to-do list? Or do you get up for the day and you gotta do your homemaking, that goes without saying, but then you wanna live some life. Like you wanna go to the park with your kids, or you want to meet up with a friend, or you wanna cook a baby meal for someone, or you wanna get to planning that women's event at church. Like, are you making time for living, or is it just accomplishing your household tasks and you make that fill up your entire day and you're basically homemaking to homemake and not homemake so that your family has a grounded, safe landing pad when they get home and so that you can recharge and go live more life the next day. It's a whole different mindset. So anyway, I'm excited for that little series coming up next week. I'm thinking of calling it More Than a Homemaker or Homemaking by Heart. I'm not sure yet, we'll see. But yeah, come back for that. Keeping my family healthy is always one of my utmost important goals for each year, and Mary Ruth has helped me with that in so many ways. I'm so glad to be partnering with them on today's video. I plan to stick to all the routines in 2026 that worked for me in 2025. And if you think about it, how do you create a routine? It's basically just by you find something that works and then you do that on repeat and it becomes a routine. And one of our longest standing main staple routines in our home is our Mary Ruth vitamin system. And so I will tell you right off the bat, I have a new code for you guys. I'll put it here on the screen. This is good on Amazon or on their website as well. Believe me, I had so many people reach out to me when my code expired, and I'm so happy to have this new one to offer you. And let me tell you, I used it as well. As you can see, as soon as I got the code, I used it myself and I stocked up for this winter. So heading into 2026, I know we're trying to do our best to feed our kids, you know, healthy, nutritious things. I do that too, but supplementing their diets with Mary Ruth's vitamins has made me feel a little bit more easygoing and just gives me peace of mind knowing I'm doing the best that I can for my kids. So let me show you their lineup right now. By the way, you can get 20 or 30% off depending where you shop. So check them out. I always do Amazon because it comes straight to my door and I can just lay in bed and order them and they come the next day often. So the kids will do the multivitamin. This is the old packaging versus the new, but it's the same exact things. They love the flavor. I don't have to have any, you know, there's no drama trying to get them to take their vitamins. I forget to give them to them sometimes and they remind me. So the best routines are the ones that the kids can keep running. I do the kids multivitamin, which is loaded with all the things they need. It's vegan, pectin based, and there's no gelatin in it. It's also gluten-free and sugar-free, and they still love it. And then they get those all year round, plus the kids probiotic. This is also vegan and gluten-free, and they're shaped like cutie little strawberries, so that promotes their gut health. And last of all, in the winter, I bulk up with an immunity gummy as well. This contains elderberry in it, vitamin C, zinc, all the things you need to boost their immune system, especially my kids are out in public spaces a lot, going to school and things. So I just like to know I'm giving them a fighting chance. These are a mixed berry flavor, they're organic, and they are also non-GMO and vegan. My husband takes their vitamins as well because he loves gummies, and then they do offer a whole line. I'm not going to get into it today in this video, but if you're looking for women's health, they have a whole line of morning and nighttime vitamins that are specifically formulated. They basically took science, put it in a bottle so that you can have better hair, skin, immunity, energy, all the things. So go on their website or their Amazon page and look into it for yourself. Load up with that code so that you are stocked up for the winter. It really is a no-brainer, and you just enter the code in when you're checking out on Amazon. There's like a promo voucher option. Click on that and then type this code in and you should be good to go. So thank you so much, Mary Ruth, for partnering with me on this video. and I've been a user of Mary Ruth's for a very long time, so I can vouch for them. This is not just a one-time brand deal, but something that we've fully implemented into our life over the last 6-7 years. So I hope you found this little ad spot helpful. I know so many of you guys have been asking for the code. Now we have it again, so that's a great feeling. I did want to mention they also have a toddler option as well with a probiotic built right in, so check them out. And Mary Ruth, thank you for sponsoring this portion of today's video. But I did spend some time thinking about my word for the year this past year, which I don't usually share it with you ahead of time, and I don't think I did with this one either, but my word for 2025 was treasure. It was a year of just, I'd worked really hard and I wanted to enjoy and treasure the things that God has given me and not always be looking for more. So it was a really good word for my year, and just keeping that in the back of my brain. I did fall off the bandwagon with my vision board. My plan was to try something new this year and do a new vision board every quarter, so it was more short-sighted and not just this big long year vision board, but I never got past the winter one, so I can't say I recommend that method. I just never made the time to sit down and make a mood board for the next quarter, the next season, so oops, major flop with that. So maybe this year I'll just have to do a regular vision board. Not that I use it like maybe some people use a vision board. I just like to use it as my laptop background and my phone screen. I was reflecting about what word I wanted for this year, and it came across my mind that there are red light years, green light years, and yellow light years. And I'm wondering which year you think 2026 is going to be for you. I've noticed this pattern in my own life. So I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a almost 2-year-old, so 2, 4, 6, 8. You can kind of see the pattern. Every 2 years I was able to have another baby, thank you God. And so it's just kind of been in that rhythm for the last while, and I've realized the years that I have a baby is definitely the red light year, where I am just trying to be kind to myself, slow down, not put anything extra on my plate, raise this baby, keep it alive, enjoy it, have some time with the baby, adjusting to a new family number. Like, we now grew in size by 1. It's a year where I'm just very forgiving to myself, and I'm not pushing, I'm not driven, very leaning into my feminine side and just letting myself rest, relax, recuperate, and just live life. And then there's the yellow light year, which I would say has been this past year for me. And I don't want to just be talking about myself here. I want you guys to apply this to your own life. So my yellow light years are usually the year when the baby turns 1. We are like trying to find our groove again, get back into things. And well, let me just read what I wrote in my journal. Some years are red light years. Stop, recuperate, cuddle the new baby, heal. Other years are yellow light years. Go slow, ease into a new season, figure out what it looks like with a new baby, raise the baby, trying new things, trying new systems, experimenting, not really creating anything new, but testing things out, testing the waters, finding the groove again, I guess you could say. And then green light years, which I'm thinking is gonna be 2026. Is this gonna be a green light year for me again? Some years are green light years. Go, implement, change, learn new passions and projects, look outward, give back, tend what you've already grown and built, become an expert. A green light year is a more self-developing year, a more action year. You're maybe leaning more into your masculine side of like taking charge, trying something new, initiating. And I guess, is that what 2026 is for me? So yeah, we'll see what 2026 has for us. And in the meantime, I'm going to, I guess, plow ahead. And if God puts something in my path, I'm going to look at this as a year of energy and stepping into saying yes to things, trying new things, and maybe starting some new things. I mean, I'm excited about my series coming up here, so we'll see where that takes us. Honey, I'm Homemaker starting up again, so lots of ways for me to use my energy and time. And yeah, that leads me to my thoughts for my word for this year. I'm not gonna tell you what it's gonna be because I'm not sure, but I wanted to encapsulate the thought of Josh coming home from work, and I am cheerful, I'm content, I'm settled, I feel like I'm in my place, I had a good day, I'm happy. So is the word merry? Is the word content? Is the word confident? I think I'm really striking on the word confident because it feels like when I was young, married, and a new mom, I was pretty confident. I was like, you know what, other people have done this before me, I can do it too. We'll figure it out. Sure, when there's a bump, we'll get through it. And then we took some real hard knocks in life, and I feel so much more trepidation and worry and just looking to the future in a dark sense. And I don't want to be like that. I want to step into each new day with confidence that God's got me. It's like Ruth True Simon says, you need to learn to be at rest in a God who wants what's best for you and is there for you and is capable of handling anything. That's what I would like for 2026, for me to just have this confidence that I'm doing my best and God's got this, and he has good things for me. He loves me. I like what the word confidence means. It's just not a very pretty word, like lighthearted or treasure. I did think of using the word life-giving, but it doesn't really have that confidence element. Being bold and strong and like that element. So I do want that this year too. I want to move through life with a quiet confidence and bravery that God's got this, not a self-reliance, but resting in the fact that God is working all things together for good. I don't want to be cringing and always looking over my shoulder for the next bad thing. I want to be the Megan pre-2020. No anxiety, clear-headed, focused, driven, with a destination in mind. And I think with the knocks I've taken in life, I just feel like setting goals is almost like a chance for God to rip them away from me. You know, like I almost don't want to do that. And that is not who God is. So I need to tell myself that every day and move with confidence. I was sitting here and there was this, I thought it was the Bible. I was like, oh, I'll read the proverb for the day. And it's not. It is the System Bible study. And it has scripture quotes by topic. And the one is confidence. And so I thought I'd just read you a verse or two that's listed here. Psalm 27. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. They are down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Wow. I was like, goodness, I couldn't have flipped to a better page, especially with what I've been thinking about lately. So I love sitting here and chatting with you guys, but I want you to do a little homework for yourself if you'd like to take this a little further and choose a word for the year for you just to keep in the back of your mind. It's a lot easier, I feel, than having like 10 New Year's resolutions or whatever. You could also try doing a mood board that encapsulates the feeling and the vibe you want for the year, not necessarily like a to-do list, but more of the feeling you want to go to into 2026 with. I have on here, I want to do regular date nights again with Josh, which is so crazy that I feel a little bit embarrassed talking about it because, so I text my little sister, she is 18. I text her every week and say, hey, what night are you available this week? And she usually has a night or two that she's available to come babysit so Josh and I can get away for like a little 2-hour date. And we don't always take it. Sometimes the dates don't work out. Like the day she's available, we can't do it or whatever. So it's not like it's happening every week, but every week I make that text and every week we see if we can have a date. And so it feels very excessive for the way I was brought up, and I almost can feel guilty like, oh, we're having fun together every week. Like that's not how it should be. And we've never done this before in our lives. We've never had time for it. And it's been so good. I just need to get over that guilty hump of feeling like, oh, this isn't the best use of my time, or this is just being selfish because, you know, it's fun to go on a date. But yeah, that must be something in my Mennonite bones or something. I guess I have this weird connotation in the back of my head that, you know, marriages shouldn't take a lot of work, you know, especially if we both love God. And that is not always true. It is so good. The more you put into your marriage, the more you'll get out of it, the more your kids will benefit from it. And so we'll see how long this keeps happening. I know summer always gets really busy, but for now we're going to enjoy it. I'm going to send the text every week and we'll see what happens. You know, and it's not glamorous things. Like we'll go out to eat or we'll go Christmas shopping for the kids. Or one week we sat down and planned a caring bridge for Josh's sister who was in the hospital, and like we're productive and worked together to solve a problem. That I love that. I love that. Solving a problem together. Maybe sometime we'll go pick out shrubs for the front yard, you know, stuff like that. It does not have to be a very glamorous date, but I always, throughout the week, if I think of something I want to talk about with Josh, you know how you want to bring stuff up over supper or after supper and it's just not the time? Well, I save it for my date nights, and you can easily save a little conversation for 1 week. You know, it's when it builds up and you're waiting for your bi-monthly date night that happens like 6 times a year. That's when it doesn't really work to do that. So yeah, I want to keep that up this year, no matter what other people think. I don't want to always be weak and leaning on Josh and needing him to talk me through things. I want to be strong as only a wife can be strong. I want to be confident. I think it goes back to that word again. And just a good helpmeet for him, and not always be energy draining, but life-giving. But I also want to be honest when I'm low, because it happens. I put on here, I want to be a better mom, but that's not a good goal. You have to think of like specific reasons why. And so I was thinking, oh, I want to do better with eye contact. You know, I have knees that work great. I can bend down and go on my knees to talk to my 4-year-old, or even my 2-year-old now. He can start to communicate, almost 2-year-old. Yeah, I want to do better with eye contact with my kids. I want to lean into my teaching role a little bit more. You might notice that here on YouTube. I'm going to come across a little more confident. Like I've seen a few things. I've done a few things. I have 4 kids now. In my brain, I'm still like a novice and starting out, and I'm failing, and I should always come to you with an air of, this is what I'm trying out. I'll probably fail, but let's try it together. And that's how I started my channel, and that's still how I feel. But I also have to acknowledge I have some road behind the tires. Is that the quote? You know, I have some mileage on me as a mother, and I do have some advice to give. And so I want to do that. How the Bible says, you know, the older women should teach the younger women. I feel like I am firmly in both camps. I can be an older woman to, you know, a 23-year-old mom starting out, and I can also be a younger woman because I definitely am. Like, I have people that I look up to that are in the next stage of life than me, or even a couple stages of life ahead of me. And so I'm fine being the younger one. I need to step into being the older one sometimes, and that's scary because whenever you give advice, I feel like you should be held accountable for that. So a little bit scary, but I want to do that a little bit more this year. Not sure exactly how that's going to look. Definitely on YouTube, I will try to speak with more authority and not with arrogance, obviously, but with more confidence and less like apology. Like, if it is what's works for me, say so. You know, it's fine. It's not like I have to be like, well, this is how I do it, but you can do it this way and that way. And, you know, maybe a little less timid. But yeah, I also don't want to be abrasive and polarizing either, because I'd like to reserve the opportunity to change my mind because I've done it so often in my life already. I know it's bound to happen more. I want to use my administration gifting in some way. That is a spiritual gift of mine, or is it a spiritual gift or just a gift? I don't know. But like organizing, delegating, I want to lean into that a little bit more. I want to grow on YouTube, find the people that... So we were at church this past week. It was actually a missionary speaking. He was talking about how for risk mitigation, when you're flying and stuff, you have to ask, that you would sit down and debrief, and basically the debriefing is just asking why 5 times. So I told Josh, I was like, do that for me. So he's like, why YouTube? And I'm like, gave him a why. And he's like, why that? You know, we just kept going. And I'm like, okay, yes, I know why I am on YouTube, why I put all the energy and time into it. Just because there's so many women out there doing the same thing that I'm doing, but we feel like we're doing it alone. And when we go connect with our friends, we don't see their real life. We're not living life with each other. We're not being villagers. We're not living in the village, getting water together every day in the morning, you know, like they did in the Bible and all of that. We're not seeing that. And so that's what I want to have YouTube be. I want to make the village more tangible. And I just want to feel like we are, you know, living with our little houses right beside each other. And we're living life in the same village, not alone, and going through our lives very much the same, but also very different. So that's definitely a different goal than when I started YouTube. I think when I started YouTube, I thought it was to show people what Mennonites were really like, and we're not that weird and all of that. And there's still an element to that. Like, I do want to share my faith and be uplifting, but I think you guys know that already. I have on here, I want to add personality to my kitchen. I have a beautiful kitchen that we worked so hard for, and we almost pulled the plug on it just because it felt like a lot of money, and then we ended up going through with it, and I love it. I can see the vision, I can see where it's going, I can see how I'm going to be able to use it for like hosting others and being life-giving, giving back with my kitchen. But the personality of my old kitchen I miss so much. The colors, just like the coziness, and it had more of my personality in it. And when I designed my new kitchen, I felt that I needed to go very classic so that it can morph through the years. And I would still do that. If I could do my kitchen over again today, I would not do colorful cabinets. I would not be crazy. I don't have any regrets, but at the same time, it's very clean and sleek and modern, which Josh loves. That's the hard part. He loves that. He thinks it feels so clean and crisp, and I agree, but I would love to make it a little more homey. So I have to figure that out, and I have to figure it out in a way so I don't have to be drilling holes into all my new cabinets, because Josh will have a fit. So I will get creative. I am going to watch a bunch of YouTube videos, maybe on renter hacks, how to make your home feel cozy as if you were a renter, because I'm not allowed to like drill holes and stuff like that or paint, but there's lots of other ways to inject personality into my kitchen. So come along for that. I'm planning a video with that in it, probably in February or March, so look out for that one. I want to delegate more chores to my kids. It's always easier for me to just get them done and let them play, because they play together so nicely. But my 6 and 8-year-old are very much more capable than I'm giving them credit for, so I want to work on that. And I think a lot of that will come through with routines, like letting one kid wash the dishes every day for a week so they can build on their skills each day, instead of letting Fletcher wash the dishes one day and then it going a whole week until he does it again. You know, that kind of thing. Landscaping, we want to get our landscaping done. My office, I want to finish my office out. And then I have a really big dream on here that might not happen this year, but I would love to flip a house with Josh. I think if the right property came up. So basically, if you're not familiar with what flipping a house is, pretty much you find the scariest, ugliest, creepiest house that you can find with good bones, and that has a well, and all of that is in place, you know, and then you just make it livable. You make it nice. Basically, the house we live in now was absolutely the ideal flipper house, but we just took forever to flip it and we were staying there. But with a flip house, you flip it in like 6 months and then you turn around and resell it and get your money back plus more is the idea. So I think that would be a great use of Josh and my skills. Of course, I would love to have like an Airbnb like this or something, but what? But why not? I'm sitting here trying to think of all the reasons why not to do one. There isn't that many, except that it feels very scary. It feels like a lot of a learning curve and listing it and all of that. Although I would just list it with Midnight Your Way, probably it would go really well. Did I just invent another new goal? Maybe I need to write that down. We can't get everything done in 1 year. So I have opened up my heart a lot in this video, maybe a little too much for the World Wide Web, but I'm guessing the people that are gonna choose to watch this video are my tried and true. So I'd love for you to share down below as well if you feel comfortable, something that you're hoping for in 2026, something that you're excited for, maybe the word for the year that you're considering, or something you hope to improve on in 2026. So I'll see you all in next week's video where we start our new series. Can't wait to share more what that's about then. Bye.